Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here playing Icewind Rime of the Frost Maiden, and yeah, it's good to have you with us. How are you guys doing tonight, wonderful players?
Doing well.
Pretty
Doing
good.
Awesome. I would say happy summertime because I'm on summer vacation, but in Michael's case, it's winter. It's just getting cold. So anyway, happy seasonal changing. Good. Well, I want to thank our sponsor before we get going here tonight. Hero Forge is amazing. You should check them out, heroforge.com. Design your own custom 3D miniatures. You can export them as tokens or transparent PNGs like you've seen on the thumbnails for these videos or the tokens on the screen here. So many awesome new tools that they're always adding. I'll just highlight a couple here that I found on their Twitter. Look at these awesome minis. These are the May staff picks. I love these, but just to give you a taste of what's possible. But some new things they're adding. First off, happy Pride Month. They got Pride flags. Yeah, you better believe it. They also have, and so they've always had banners. Now they've had Pride banners for this month. Look at this though. Cool new cyberpunk options. A couple new hairstyles here that they're playing with. You know, transparent plastics, all kinds of cool lighting effects. Always new weapons, armor, the whole 9 yards. Check them out at heroforge.com and support our supporters. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to just kind of remind us of where we are here. Remember that first off, Nicos. And by the way, let me know if you couldn't hear the players. Can you guys give me another mic check?
Hello.
Hello.
I love it.
Chicken wing, hot dog bologna.
Let us know if you can't hear the players because we have had trouble with that in the past. Usually involves me restarting my computer. No big deal in the middle of a stream or anything. Oh, I'm just noticing Ryan. Ryan, I don't have you in the center, my man. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So that's one thing
I don't
we
need
can
to be
fix.
centered.
Here we go. You are as centered as you can ever be.
Clay's feeling a little off-centered lately anyway, so it's all good.
That is true. Okay, I think we're good now. But Clay, Fizwick, and Gruckvar are at the top of Sunblight Fortress, the upper level, whereas Nicos is taking a nappy nap down below at the Forge level. Having been completely tapped out on spells and all that, he decided rest would be a good idea for him to be more effective in the future going forward. So, with that said, let's begin and I'll tell you where we are here. The cold wind howls. Overhead, there are flurries of snow that cascade into onto the party as they huddle on the platform below the open, now, ice gate at the top of Sunblight Fortress. 2 Duergar circle around a large black dragon construct, roughly the size of a large stallion, but with wings outstretched. The Duergar have now fastened these wings at the behest of the party, and they are urging, with a little bit of force and intimidation, to help them reconstruct the prototype Chardalyn dragon that was kind of left in pieces here in Sunblight Fortress. This construct has glassy bits of Chardalyn sticking out at strange angles. It is unrefined, but still foreboding, intimidating. The 2 Duergar circle. They are etching runes into the icy stone, and one of them in particular looks almost like a magical engineer of sorts, is chanting as he does so. Having completed the circle of runes around the construct, he steps back and he speaks to Gruckvar Clay Fizwick. Right. No. What did you want him to do again? And I don't think we ever really got that perfectly clear, but opportunity for you to discuss now. What exactly? Remember that you cannot control, it is not remote control, but magically he can magically engineering, he can program it essentially to follow an order or orders.
Can we
behaviors.
have it hunt down the other dragon?
And detonate.
Okay. I
Yeah, like
remember
a-
that
like a-
suggestion.
Like a suicide attack?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this.
Okay.
Well, I would
Or
say,
could we fashion a saddle or something and it could carry one of us so we could attack the dragon while riding the other dragon with the other dragon?
how many of us could it carry?
Probably only one.
So is this thing like the size of a horse or something like that? Or
Yeah. Imagine about the size of a horse, larger with the wings, but the body itself about the girth of a large stallion.
what did we get a sense of how big the other one was?
It was hard to tell because you were a couple 100 feet below it, but I would estimate, you would probably estimate that it was 4 or 5 times as large as this one.
Does
Well,
this
that might be a
prototype
prep
have?
plan.
Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, nothing.
Does this prototype have similar weapon systems?
It has similar weapons, you ask?
Weapon systems. I don't know what the original one has.
Good. Yeah, good. Great question. So the Dwargar tell you the main effect of it is a breath weapon that fully charged provides a blast, and you can see it doesn't have a mouth that opens per se, similar to the one that you saw flying out. It's kind of this grill in the front, almost like a vent, and you can see the heat kind of causing steam. Yeah, it can use its claws. It can strike with its tail or wings if needed. But the main weapon will be this blast of energy.
Is this thing, once it turns on, is it automated? Does it just go and do its own thing? Or could we use it to protect ourselves if we didn't want to use it to, like, go on a suicide run?
You could use it to
like if we wanted to fight the dragon and take it head on and just not
sure.
throw
Yeah,
it
I
at
mean, you could have it follow you until it finds the dragon if you want to, or you could send it ahead. Either way is fine. Send it ahead to attack the dragon. And if you wanted to mount it with explosives, I remember that suggestion last time. I had forgotten about that. That could also be absolutely an option.
We sent it to attack the dragon head on. There's a good chance it wouldn't do anything, and the dragon could maybe deflect it. But if we attack the dragon ourselves, and then while its guard is down, had it kind of maybe zoom in at the right time so that the dragon isn't prepared, or
send it ahead to weaken the dragon, and then we go hunt it down and finish
well,
it off.
Nate, does it have any chance of like weakening the dragon, or would a head-on assault, like, do we know enough? Okay, because I think we're risking it doing nothing at all.
If we have it follow us, though, we're going to inherently slow it down.
Yeah.
Because we can't travel as fast as it can flying through the air, and I feel like
the essence.
Yeah.
Compared to what you saw of the big one, I would say that it does look a little bit more maneuverable, lightweight, if you will. So it would have that advantage at the very least. But yeah, it is much smaller.
Could we program it to like use everything but explosives until it itself was too weak to continue fighting, and then
I like this.
it does like a final bombing run and take it out, so that it has them, and then as soon as that thing leaves, we also leave, so that we can get there as fast as possible to finish the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely do that. You could kind of give it a hairy kind of take pot shots at it sort of directive, and then if it becomes badly damaged, have it do a final suicide run.
15% of its health or something like that. Have it do its final attack.
Yep. By the way, I do have a little.
Cue up the predator sound.
It gets 3 red dots right on its forehead.
Okay, let me.
I also think we should not just leave right after we send it out, because we should wait for Nicos, because he's resting right now.
Right.
Yep.
So
And
this is. Go ahead. Okay, these are the 3 points I wrote down for what we just discussed. Okay. Seek and destroy. Seek and hunt and attack the other dragon.
Yep.
Self-destruct when it's critically weakened, and it's within range to hurt the other dragon.
Yep.
And then a third point, actually, I just thought of this. Spare us. Don't attack us.
Yeah, its only target is the other dragon.
Good point. Okay.
But how long has it been? Because I'm guessing that Nicos has had some time to rest while it was being put back together, right?
What did I tell you guys last time? Did I say that Nicos had probably rested for about an hour when he was interrupted? Do you remember that, Michael?
Yeah, it was about an hour before I was interrupted by the guys checking the area.
Yeah. So I would say that maybe now it's been 2 hours out of the 8 needed for a long rest. So, I mean, the rest of you could decide that you also want to take a long rest. If you have to wait 6 hours, just decide, let's also take a long rest.
I'm just worried about what difference 8 hours will make for the 10 towns. I mean, 8 hours of a giant dragon attacking each town is devastating. Or could be, potentially.
Yeah.
I am not at full power. I have some spell slots left, but I don't have a ton. Nicos is resting so he can get his full capacities back. And so
basically, you would actually know that without resting, Nicos fighting a dragon would be the equivalent of arming a small child with a wet napkin and telling it to fight a dragon. And it's like, yeah. Regardless of what we decide, either I go there and I'm useless against the dragon, or I rest and, I can at least do something. Because, yeah, me being there and useless, all that's doing is putting me in the line of fire to get killed.
And it can fly, so Clay and Fizwick are going to have to use ranged attacks of some kind. Also, before we even left, didn't we talk to the guy who was like the town speaker for one of those cities, and he was going to sort of like plan some kind of some sort of defense system, whatever that might be?
Yeah.
Yep. He was.
However strong that might be.
Yeah, I think he was in the process of sending out warnings to some of the other 10 towns or something.
I think we should absolutely go and take the dragon out, but I think that we best be ready when the time comes. And maybe by the time we show up, the little dragon, the prototype, will be destroyed itself long ago, and the big dragon will have like one wing left, or what I'm saying. But I think we're gonna have to.
It'll be one of the town's new pets for some, like. They'll actually feel sorry for it.
Maybe, I don't know.
So do we send the little dragon out now, then wait till the 8 hours are done, take a rest ourselves, and then head out? Or do we wait for everything until we're totally ready to go?
No, I think the dragon goes out right now to start the process. I don't think it attacking the big dragon is going to change much with us being present, because we can't control it and live.
Yeah. I'm all for doing something now, not waiting.
Will, your thoughts?
Fizwick riding it in the glory.
Okay.
Flaming arrows and bombs.
Do you want to go ahead?
I would.
Okay, we're gonna send Fizwick and the dragon.
Palpitating at this.
Can we give you like a parachute or something so you can actually jump off of it if you?
I could maybe.
You need to.
What could I do? No, I would have to I would die, wouldn't I? I don't have any.
Well, the agreement would have to be that if you bailed because the dragon was going to kamikaze, then you would have to continue fighting the dragon afterwards.
Well,
'Cause
you
you'd
wouldn't
be
have
the
to.
only one there that could do that.
You could use that classic Fizwick stealth and
I say we wait for Nicos to heal up. We
Okay.
know there's going to be collateral damage no matter what. And if we attack it together, Fantastic Four style, we're more likely to succeed than sending off this wonderful asset that we have here by itself. I just don't want to send it off by itself.
it won't be as cool because we can't see it do its thing.
Right, but there's a
we won't
good
be able to
chance-
control it anyways,
There's
right?
a good chance that thing
Moving?
doesn't do enough damage or it just backfires on us and we get nothing. And I'd rather use that at a critical moment or as like a,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
a fifth member of our team. But I'm flexible for anything.
I like that thought, but I'm concerned that it is going to, that we really need to do as much as we can in the moment right now, at least try and slow it down or something. Because if we don't,
it
I
could
feel
be
like
a
we're gonna
it could be a
lose
decent
multiple towns.
distraction for a while, even for some of the towns to be
Could go
able
either
to.
way.
No, you know what though? You know what though,
I
Will?
could
You
see it
know,
either
here's
way.
the thing to think
I could
about.
really see it either way though.
If we're not present by that smaller prototype dragon, it might get attacked by townspeople.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Until
there's-
I mean,
big
unless they
thing.
see that it's going after the bigger one, like if it's obvious that it's helping to take down the threat.
Can we put a little flag on it? That's
Yeah. Tell them to
indicates-
Little white
reprogram the
flag.
eyes. Different colored eyes. We need like green eyes on the
Yep, that's always the clue that it's a good guy.
yeah,
not a
right.
bad
You
guy.
know.
Let's hand make a flag out of something and tie it around this thing's neck so people can see it and know that this is
What should it say? I come in peace.
it's his friendly
Friend.
friend
So-
died.
So while this is all going on, Nikos is just having this weird dream about this dragon, this Shardland dragon, and then Fizwick, Clay, and Grokvar with like bits of fabric, and then the theme song, "I'm coming out," and then they're like dressing up the dragon in all these different outfits, getting ready to.
There has to be a montage. I
That's
mean,
the best montage ever.
Definitely the fashion montage.
I love
Yeah.
this.
Or we could go back to Fizwick's plan, and he could ride the dragon into town, and just his job would be to scream, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot!"
Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with that, but I do think we should give him some kind of parachute or something so he can jump off of it if he needs to. What do you
I
think,
mean-
Fizwick?
I'm all over this. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
All right. So what's the plan?
Well, first Grukvar goes up to the magical mechanics and says, "Is there any way we can get some sort of parachute for our friend over here? Because he's going to be riding this dragon that you're sending out, and he needs some kind of escape plan."
You wouldn't need much fabric.
I don't really know. Let me quickly Google parachute in 5e. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All
These
right.
Duragar are much more advanced than we give them credit for.
I mean, come on, Nate. It's a fantasy adventure. Clearly, that's a cloak of slow falling.
One of them UFOs.
Is that a
over
real
10
thing?
Pounds.
Michael, is that a real thing? Oh.
No. My character in Avernus has a ring of featherfall, and that's
They
it's essentially the same
thought
thing.
the D&D writers thought about making a cloak of slow falling, but then somebody spoke up and said that's just a parachute,
Yeah.
and so they added a parachute.
I imagine that they could fashion something. We'll see what we can do. I'm not quite sure about this. Never really made anything of the sort, but
Oh, now you made a mechanical dragon. I think you can figure it out.
well,
It's a sheet with some holes in it and some string.
oh,
The more holes,
he's
the
taking
better.
notes.
No holes. No holes.
Big giant holes. Got it.
Aside from the one in the middle, make sure that there's a nice pattern of holes throughout.
It's just
Alright.
peppered amongst them.
If you all are planning to rest, we can work on something.
Oh, other than that, we've got.
Except we wanted to send the
3
dragon out right now, right?
Yeah, didn't we? I think that was.
Yeah.
All right, so we're
Other than that, we've got we've got 3 commands for the dragon.
Fizwick's just gonna risk it. He's got pretty high acrobatics. He's gonna jump off at the last second. I've seen enough movies to know this is possible. Screw it. We don't
And,
need
you
it.
know,
I
probably
don't
into
know,
the snow.
parachute,
That
let's
would
do
help.
this. Let's get things moving. What?
Isn't it like one
you'll jump into
d10 per
this,
10 feet of falling or something?
but he could also jump into some nice soft snow. A big snowdrift.
So would you like us to program it to be steered in a way?
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. We'll work on this. All you have to do is push on its neck in the direction you'd like it to go, and it should take those directions. It'll take some time for us to
This is
for the
awesome.
necessary enchantments for that.
Man, I'm gonna call him Kit. This is Kit. K-I-T-T.
The breath weapon will be simply tilting this scale here, and he kind of takes one of the scales in the back and demonstrates. It's not armed yet.
Fizwick
We'll
like
make it so.
Fizwick climbs up to the top and he kind of looks over at the head of the dragon. You talk to dragon.
It's not moving at all right now. They haven't finished the enchantments. It's totally still. None of you have even seen it twitch.
He just
yet.
kind of swings down off of the neck and drops.
Out of nowhere, David Hasselhoff comes on. And hello. It's
I love that show.
So, all right. So, parachute. Yeah, and they quickly run over back to the.
I think we
the
just
workshop
lost
side.
like half of our audience with that comment.
Oh no.
Shoot, they run over to the workshop over here, and they're trying to, fasten something together from some large sheets of canvas and other, bits of rope and wire and such. And so the rest of you would like to take a long rest.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I imagine that you could go down below to the level that Grandolpha Musgart is on, one level down, or you could all play sleepover in Nicos' quarters too. But there was the barracks there, and if you ask Grandolpha, she would probably be.
He goes in and makes Nikos the little spoon.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no.
don't think you would care for that if I know anything about Nikos.
No,
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't think Clay would care for that.
I could definitely. Yeah, no, go ahead. I could definitely use a midnight snack.
That's true. Good point.
I mean, breakfast in bed. What could I want? What more could I ask for?
Oh
I
man.
will be staying out of this bedroom. Just to, I'd rather not risk it.
All right, so Fizwick, they come back in the room, and they've got this this sort of parachute thing. You can see one of them is just tying it up with a piece of rope, and he says, "It's not perfect, but you'll just want to pull this knot here. It's designed so that when you pull it, it should loosen.
Is there a
And,
backup? Is that the only one?
It's the only one.
Oh,
It should work.
okay.
Just don't let this come untied too soon. Check it every once in a while. Make sure the knot is secure."
He grabs it and kind of puts it on the wrong way on his chest.
So is that it for the commands? Since Fizwick's going to be steering it, we no longer need sort of like the hunt and seek out and destroy and the self-destruct and everything because Fizwick's going to be in control of that.
That's right. Essentially, you'll have the ability to steer it and to shoot the breath weapon. Is there anything else? Did you still want some form of like the kamikaze explosive attack?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean-
would he be able to just command it to do that, right? Like if he jumps off, the dragon is to find the bigger dragon immediately and fly into it.
Yeah, sure. So the Duergar says, "All right, yes, this will take a little more time, but we can figure out. It'll probably be this scale right here for the final blow, if you will."
Or we can keep it and we don't have to blow it up.
Do like a kill switch. So it's like the scale, as long as
We can make
Fizwick's
that kill
on it,
switch.
it's pressed down, and then as soon as Fizwick's like pressure is released, it explodes instantly.
Or we can make that optional.
Or just
How about
put a
button?
self-destruct scale on it, so you can punch that, and that just makes a little time, a little countdown commence.
Yeah, I
Well,
like
it
that
has
idea
to-
better.
It has to know to fly into the big dragon, though.
So I mean, he says, well, we can do this. We'll program it so that if you pull this scale, it will immediately begin flying for the larger dragon and explode upon impact. But you have to make sure you get off before then, unless you're up for a little fire.
Oh, Fizwick understands.
All right. So don't pull out if you're too close because you might not have time to get off.
That's what she said.
He laughs. I like this one. All right. So anything else?
I'm gonna see this little fella off, and then I'm heading off to bed.
All right. Fizwick mounts the saddle and this kind of very, rough, basically, saddle they've cobbled together. It is not very comfortable at all, but there are, stirrups and things to hold on to. The Dwargar priest finishes some incantations. You see around, as he is mumbling, holding this large hammer right in the middle of the runes in front of the dragon. He's chanting, and you see the runes around the dragon light up blue with this kind of orangish fire on the outside. As the circle completes itself, and the priest steps forward, places its hammer on the head of the dragon, and Fizwick, you feel this energy pulsing through your body as the dragon comes to life, and it now is going to basically spread its wings, and you could direct its neck up and fly away at this time if you would like to.
Watch this! And he pulls it back really hard to accelerate as fast as he can.
Yeah, and it takes off, wings batting. The rest of you kind of, go to the corners of this room here as it lights up and fills the sky with darkness for just a moment before it takes off to the north in the direction of 10 Towns. That is that.
Wow.
We'll see how that goes.
He's waving. You can see him.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have now split the party 3 ways for a moment.
That idiot's gonna get himself killed.
All right. The rest of you head down to. Are you going to Grandolpha Musgart's level, the command level, or are you going down further to the Forge level?
I think Grandolpha's level is probably the easiest place to go to sleep because we already know there's beds there.
Okay. Yeah, you see Grandolpha. She is, very open to your suggestion. Makes some minor inquiries about what you've been doing, but but doesn't ask too many questions. And she and some fellow Dwargar are actually feasting quite heartily right now at the prospect of Zardarok's demise, as she is now the new queen, if you will, or leader of the Sunblight clan and this outpost or this fortress here. So the command level is here, and you all find some, beds here.
Are there any rooms or cells or whatever that look better than the other ones?
Yes. There. Well, there is Zardarok's own bedroom here, which is not occupied at the moment because there's so much feasting going on here in the dining hall.
Out of my way, that one's mine. and I march into that one.
Now hold on, Clay. What about the gas that we released earlier? Is it still in the air in that room?
The what? I'm just
Toxic.
forgetting. I'm sure.
Oh, the toxic gas. Oh, never mind. Enjoy your sleep.
Puts 3D printing fumes to shame. He'll be fine. Anyway, all right. So Clay marches off to the king's quarters, and with a swagger, I imagine, very uncharacteristic of Clay normally.
He knows
And
Fizwick might die.
Yeah, I'm feeling happy.
And Grukvar, you head off to one of these rooms here.
Mhm.
All right. Nikos, you awaken after some time, after 8 hours, I assume. You've set your magical alarm clock, perhaps, and you find a buzz of activity kind of going on around the room where you are. What do you do as you wake up?
As Nikos awakens, he leaves the chambers of Zadrok's Sunblight. He steps out into the main corridor and looks around. He figures the others have gone to the tower in order to have a look at the robot, and will start making his way up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you kind of catch some Duergar on the way, and they on the forge level, and they let you know that actually the your companions are asleep in the barracks.
I ask how long have they been asleep?
Ooh, I think it's been about 6 hours or so.
I kind of look at my make-believe alarm clock. Another 2 hours for those lazy bones. All right, fine. Very well. Do not awaken them. We will start making preparations. I will ask the Duragar if he doesn't look too busy, if he can ask if Valen can come see me at the top of the tower when she's ready.
Absolutely, we'll send word. As you are walking away here, you hear a sounds of struggle coming from Zardarok's quarters, as a group of Duergar are going, "What are you doing here?" And Clay, you are awakened abruptly by.
Wasn't I sleeping in Zardarok's quarters?
You were actually down below in Grandolfa's old quarters.
Right.
And now Grandolfa is here, expecting to have the king's chambers, and she is flanked by a Duergar guard on either side, and who are yelling at Clay, "Get out!" Clay, what do you do?
Clay sleeps with his axes, so he pulls them out and just sits up in bed and says, "You get out! I just saved this castle for you. The least you can give me is 8 hours of sleep."
Grandolfa kind of calms her guards down and says, "Well, as long as you don't mind sharing the bed with me, that will be just fine." And she kind of plumps down in bed and immediately passes out, like just drunk as a skunk.
Thank goodness.
Next to you. Yeah, I mean, you can just smell the terrible Duergar brew that she is breathing out, and she's already asleep, and the guards are just kind of sitting there like, "All right, will there be anything else?" And she's just and they kind of shrug, and they go outside the door here, close the door.
I make a little like sheet wall between the two of us down the center of the bed, and then roll over on my side and go to sleep.
I didn't realize. I kind of like tilt my head at how modest Clay is. I'll I'll sort of look at the two Duragar and sort of tell them, make sure they're not disturbed.
They kind of nod at you, confused, still a little bit in kind of like a huff, like a bit of rage. Their face is red, but starting to calm down a little bit. So yeah, right.
I'm gonna keep making my way upwards and just sort of like, it's kind of like another eye roll. It's like, yep, of course.
Yep. Now, this level right here is actually the level where Velin would enter. Do you want to stay on this level, or do you want to still go up to the ice gate level?
I want to still go up to the up to the top.
Okay, good. You do so, and you find that there is the. I keep changing the map on the wrong one here. There we go. You do find the Dwargar here who helped with the construct, and they say, "Oh, yes, your friends were here. They instructed us," and they kind of begrudgingly admit this, to release the prototype dragon. It is now on its way to 10 towns with a small goblin on its back. Well, rather a large goblin if I think about it, really. Large for a goblin. Small creature, large goblin.
Nikos will react to this very physically. He'll say, "Oh, so Fizwick is riding the dragon for the last how long have they been gone?"
Ooh, about 6 hours, 5 hours now, probably.
You watch as Nikos will sort of go over to a table and will sort of just like lean on it, and there's just this sigh, and then a few moments later, like like in the movies, it's just and he's just gonna knock a whole bunch of shit off, and he's gonna just start. He's just gonna start swearing in Thayan, like just outrightly. He looks back at the two Duragar, and his eyes are like inky black. He looks to them both and points, and he says, "What is the fastest way you can get us to 10 towns?"
Well, by...
What parts do you have remaining? And he's gonna just, basically just start encroaching on these two, like, terrifyingly angry.
Yeah. They say, I believe your friend has a dog sled. That's probably the quickest. The trail you took here, probably the fastest. We can show you on a map.
He sort of steps in forward. So what I want to try and do is and this is sort of player GM as well.
Yep.
I want to see if there's any parts of the Shardland Dragon that can accelerate our gain, like bits of engine that we could just set fire to with magic and just rocket forward a little bit, or ice melters, like just to kind of create the sled tracks, like make them heated so that they melt the ice and create like a slide over, as opposed to like us having to fight against the snow. Something, just anything that they can do to kind of pimp our ride.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and, based on the way the conversation's going, make a intimidation check just to see how inclined they are to this. And I imagine, make it with advantage.
Yay!
You're intimidating. You're a scary looking dude.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's a 24.
Okay. They're like, yes, we'll see what we can cobble up. It hopefully we'll be safe, but we'll definitely give you some power. Yes. And
I say you have 2 hours, and then I swish on my cape and I leave.
And as you leave, you see Velin in the hallway saying, "What's going on here?"
I'll bring Villin up to speed in regards to the prototype dragon, Fizwick, the resting state of Grukvar and Clay, that we need to make haste quicker than we did before, and that I've enlisted the assistance of the Duragar engineers, and if there's anything you could do to help them speed things along, to stay here and assist them. Also, I do want to make sure that she's okay. I'll take a moment before I leave to just say, I'm sorry. I'm worried about our friend. Are you all right? This has been quite an ordeal, and I know that you came here offering to assist, and your aid has been most valuable. This has been a whole encounter with the Sunblighters and Zadorok and the like. And scarcely had a moment to ensure if you are okay.
Yes, I'm all right. Thank you. What is a wizard if she can't put her powers to the test? And she kind of flicks her wrist, and a little bit of ice just kind of crisps in the air and falls to the ground. You understand. You have powers.
Yes, I understand all too well. And hopefully we'll be able to use them to still great effect. 10 Towns is still in danger, and we nary a moment to lose.
Indeed. The sleds are readied. I will stay here to ensure that whatever work these Duergar are doing will be adequate for us.
Thank you. In the meantime, I will see you to getting some food and supplies minimized. Effectively, what I want to do is I want to try and do what they do on the space station, as it were. So we have food and rations, of course, but I want to see if I can like dry some out, save on weight for the actual sled, so we might be able to go faster. Just little kind of tiny things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, how long is it to get to Easthaven from here?
To Easthaven, I believe, was about 10 hours, but let me double check. So, Easthaven. Yeah, I'm going to go with 10 hours.
Yeah. So effectively, like, just before we, about an hour before we leave, I want to water the dogs, make sure that everyone has, breakfast and stuff like that, just so that we don't need a break until we are closer to 10 Towns. Basically trying to just time everything well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. You managed to do so. You scrounge for the supplies you need and are able to find everything you're looking for pretty much here. Grandolfa's guards have been instructed to help you all in any preparations you may need. Grandolfa herself is still definitely passed out, but they've been instructed to help you within reason. Prepare for your journey. They are aware of your desire to head back to 10 Towns. All right. So, Fizwick, you are on the back of a black streak through the sky. As you see below, little tiny figures of people looking up in bewilderment and fear as you streak across the sky toward 10 Towns. I would like you to go ahead and make an athletic or acrobatics check, we'll say, just to see kind of how this ride is going for you so far.
12.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a rough ride for you. At times, the dragon dips on an air current that causes you a little bit of a start, and yeah, it's definitely a little bit breathtaking, we'll say, and very cold. This is another level of cold that you have not felt before in your life.
Fizwick feels a little bit of that draft get under him, and he's so light it kind of lifts him off the seat. His pucker factor is like an 11 right now.
Yeah.
It's actually going inside.
Yeah, the opposite of prairie dog in it.
Absolutely. Fizwick, you have a pretty good general feel for the layout of 10 Towns. I mean, that the map of 10 Towns is essentially in your mind. You have also seen the sorry, let me pull it up here.
While you're doing that, does the dragon I'm riding have any advantages like mobility, speed?
It is definitely much faster than you know what you would be doing if walking.
Oh, I mean, compared to the other dragon, does it go faster? Is it more nimble? Is it?
I wouldn't say it goes faster, but it is definitely more nimble. It is definitely more agile, more easily able to turn on a dime, things like
Fizwick
that.
He tries to do some barrel rolls and a loopy-loop and
Getting the feel for it.
get the feel for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like how
go
to
ahead
train
and
your
make-
dragon, the very beginning.
Exactly.
He's trying to bring it down low, like down to like the lake and navigate through some trees and water just to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Make him touch a fin tip to the water, so it just
Yes.
it makes a nice little
yeah.
across the.
Yeah, there's no water, but definitely a little bit of like snow on the ice. Just gonna little. Go ahead and make another. Ooh, let's try animal handling check this time. It's not an animal per se, but it's
Yeah.
a lot of the same skills.
I've got big bonuses here, and I'm only rolling 11.
No one wants to
So-
hear about your big bonuses.
So you definitely managed to take a dip, but when that wing hits the snow, it's just kind of like whoa, and it like starts back up. It's like you hit that snow pile a little too hard, and it definitely sends a jolt through you as you kind of slide back in the saddle a little bit and have to kind of clamber back forward to get back up to the upright position. Yeah. There's like a group of hunters nearby. You can see in the forest with bows and arrows pointing at you, and one of them, in bewilderment, is going to take a shot, and then he mounts onto his axe beak and seems to split off, chasing you, but definitely not able to keep up. But I'm gonna go ahead and roll that shot here. It sails over your head. Actually, no, it falls pretty short of where you are, we'll say, as you just kind of maneuver this dragon up and a little bit higher now out of the way. And you see these hunters riding, 3 of them, bundled up in winter garb, riding on axe beaks in the direction of the 10 Towns. Now, where exactly are you headed, Fizwick? This right here, you'll see on screen, is the dragon's path.
Okay.
So it will be going from Sunblight, and you guys know this because you found that map, to Dugan's Hole, Goodmead, Easthaven, Caer-Dineval, Caer-Konig, etc.
Fizwick's got a couple ideas up his sleeve. He's gonna look for that dragon, and he wants to kind of do it from higher up in elevation than the dragon would be. That way he could maybe get the drop on him, or just have some distance.
Yep, absolutely. So are you pretty much going to be following the path that you know the dragon is headed, or do
Yes.
you want to go ahead of it or something?
If I could, yeah, let's actually go ahead of it and try to find a place where Fizwick could hide, possibly detached to a rock, and maybe get a jump on the creature. Or
Sure.
is that possible? Or
Yeah, so I would say that as you pass, as you head north, you can see smoke rising from Dugan's Hole and Goodmead. Apparently, well, let's see. How many hours are we into this now? Oh man, we'll say we're maybe around 5 hours. So let me
Fizwick
just take a look here.
sees the smoke and he says to himself, "Oh, Dugan's Hole! Nobody's gonna miss that one."
You definitely, you don't see it anywhere as you kind of fly over, you just see smoke rising from Dugan's Hole and Goodmead, so you can pretty safely assume that it has already been there. and they're not looking good. There is a lot of smoke and destruction. Fire as well, that you can see mostly just because of the darkness here in 10 Towns. So do you want to head to Easthaven? Do you want to and see what you see in that direction? Do you want to keep going to further north, or head to like even further to the west? It's up to you.
Let's try to get the jump on it and head a little bit farther ahead than Easthaven.
Okay. Yeah. So like maybe to Caradinaval, Koenig area?
Yeah.
A little further north? Okay.
Yeah.
So as you fly off in the direction of Easthaven, you do just start to see some smoke on the horizon off to the east in Easthaven. And that is where we are going to leave Fizwick for now. Okay. Clay, Grukvar, you find yourselves waking up. Yes, what do you do as you awaken from your long rest?
Is my bedmate still next to me?
She is snoring loudly.
Like, can I tell if she's wake-upable?
You could certainly try.
Well, I don't want to try to wake her up. I want to do something, but I want to make sure she's not going to wake up first.
Oh, okay. I mean, she looks like she's very heavily sleeping. We'll just say
Okay,
that.
I growl and push her off the bed.
Okay. Yeah, she well, let's just see how that goes. She's going to make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage. Grandolfo, where is your stat block? Let's see. I put you away a long time ago.
I left it in my other purse.
Well, anyway, she's probably got, yeah, whatever. A Dwargar, probably like a +2 to Constitution. With disadvantage, she stays asleep. She hits the floor hard, and you hear definitely a changing in the pattern of her breathing, a momentary kind of like maybe head lifting up, like, but then right back to sleep on the hard, cold stone floor.
And then I stand up and I walk out.
All right. The guards.
And by the way, too, before I went to sleep, there was no ritual that happened.
Okay.
Like I just went in and went to sleep.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. All right. So, Clay now exits. The two guards kind of look in as you leave. They nod to you, and then they look in on Grandolfo real quick and go, "What happened?"
She's really drunk. She did it. I don't know. She just rolled over and fell.
Oh, all right. Yes. Well.
I just leave her alone. She'll sleep it off.
They kind of look like confused, unsure what to do really, and yeah, you just kind of walk away, and they're just kind of.
Yeah, I don't care what they do. I just shoulder past them and keep going.
Yeah, they're just they're back there. Clay walks back and toward Grukvar's quarters, the barracks. Grukvar, what are you doing at this time?
I've woken up a little bit early and, while still in kind of a restful state, carried out a artisan's blessing to turn where I've laid out some scraps that I've taken from the workshop on the top level of iron, and just 30 gold pieces, and laid them out on the ground, and by chanting over them and arranging them just so they recoalesce into 30 different badges, diamond-shaped badges of iron with a small ruby rising sun in the center of them. And they've got like a chain on the top, so you could wear this around your neck if you wanted to. And I gather them together in like a pile in my hands, and then I step out of my quarters and I knock on the quarters next to me to wake up Daj, who's still with us, and he's gotten some rest too. And then I walk through the sleeping quarters, and I deposit one of these badges next to each bed that I find. And about how many are there in there? Like 10 different beds or so?
Yeah, I would say probably 10.
Okay.
Let's see the exact number here if I have that map. But yeah, anyway, something like that.
Okay, and then I take the extra ones I still have in hand, and I ride the elevator downstairs to buy the forge. I scatter some on the ground there, and I put some in the hallway there. I basically kind of just distribute them about the facilities, and I take like the final 5 of them, and I just deposit them in the sort of kitchen area where Grandolph was when we first met her.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually sent you an image of them. If you can pop it
Yeah,
up.
I can, absolutely. I was just going to ask if I could do that.
Sure. And if you were to flip it around on the back, it's got written on in Dwarvish script. It says, Duergar brethren, if you're tired of needless violence and cruelty, head to Ula Shrine at Bryn Shander, meet with Daj, await further instruction from Grukvar. And I head back upstairs to meet with the party.
All right.
I'm hoping that
awesome.
that little bit of Ruby on there kind of catches their eye, and they are intrigued by it at least, and give it turn it over in their hand and read that message.
Yeah, I love it. That's so cool. Yeah, go ahead and take a point of inspiration for the for that and for the awesome art you did here, Alex. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. So next up, I imagine you guys would probably find Grukvar in the barracks. Let me see if I can pull up the table here where you guys might find him. Black Fortress command level. Okay. Flipping the maps like crazy today. You guys are keeping me on my toes. Let's see. All right. So, here's the barracks, and Grukvar, Daj, and Clay are maybe meeting here. Nicos, would you be probably waiting for them here as well?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Excellent. So, I imagine Clay and Grukvar would fill Nicos in on any details that he doesn't already know, yes?
Nicos, are you up to speed on what's happened since you have been sleeping?
Yes, I am. And I'm not even going to ask why Fizwick is currently flying into battle alone, riding atop a dragon. He does not know how to fly. But I've already made preparations in order to hastily try and catch up. And I'll tell them...
You didn't feel like talking to us before you made preparations?
You didn't feel like talking to me before sending our friend to their death?
No, and it was his idea.
Yeah, that's what we've been following so far. We've been going, Fizwick, great idea. Let's do exactly what you're saying. Clay, you have pretty much spent the entire time since I've met you undermining the goblin. Don't try and play that off to try and excuse yourself for allowing our friend to go and commit some sort of ritualistic suicide while riding atop a dragon. I bet all he said was, "This is awesome," and flew out the window.
That's about right.
And yeah, there's definitely a loss of some respect there from Nicos in regards to it, because in Nicos's mind, Fizwick is not capable of making his own decisions, and that is a well-known, accepted fact. And you know, the moment he turns his back, he's like, "The two of you have disappointed me."
Okay, I just rolled to make a decision. So if you wanted to be part of the planning, you should have waited to go take your nap.
Yeah, well, when I said I was going to take my nap, that was not an invitation to go and start planning things.
We're more concerned about the lives of the people in the village than your...
Well, I've been waiting for the last 2 hours for you while you were having your own nap.
Hey, I didn't write the rules to this game.
What game? The only game I see is the one you're trying to play with me, and as far as I'm concerned, we would have saved 2 hours had you just had the little nap, instead of wasted 2 hours of our time, then decided to have it. It's not my fault you have difficulty keeping up. But next time, perhaps, you'll listen.
So you're
All
snoring.
right, you two. All right, you two. All right. Listen, let's get on the road. We can at least agree that's the right course of action now, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Let's
Yeah,
see what
that
the
was the
dwarves has to
plan.
offer. Like I said, I mentioned the dwarves previously, so we'll head and see what the dwarves have come up with as a means of hastening our dog sled.
Yes, the dwarves you actually find have hastily constructed a prototype of a sled. Like it's not gonna work, but it's just like roughly some like wood in the shape of a sled, and they're like currently have these leather straps and metal clamps that they are trying to fasten to the back of a sled, and it's essentially like a little booster. It provides some propulsion. You see one of them quickly turn a knob as you walk in, and they both leap back very quickly out of the way. Nothing happens. One of them steps closer, slowly tink with a little wrench, and this like propulsion comes out of the back, and he quickly runs back and turns the knob to turn it back off. Oh, hello there. I think we've got what you need here, but it might require a little bit tap to get it fully functioning here and there.
I take it this is your plan, Nicos. You want us to ride a missile into town?
No. How have you retrofitted this into the sled?
Oh, we'll have to be able to strap it to the back, and I imagine we'll use these leather straps and metal clamps, and yes, we can carry it down there right now if you'd like.
Please do.
They kind of gather up their stuff. You definitely notice they're giving Nicos a wide berth as they pass. You had an effect on them for sure earlier. And so they're carrying these little, bits of metal basically that will act as propulsion of some kind. Yep.
Sweet.
How do we steer this vessel?
Well, this is these are simply to be retrofitted to your existing sleds. They're not. You're not going to be steering them, but you will have to. Whoever's on the back of the sled will have to spread their legs quite wide.
All right.
And they kind of clamber off, dropping little pieces here and there, but clamber off down to the command level to put these on the sleds. As you guys exit, you find Velin near the entrance, and she kind of walks you down behind the Dwargar and begins talking to you. She says, I offered my sleds earlier, and that offer still stands. I'm absolutely happy to do this, even with these strange additions that you've ordered. However, I have to warn you, I have companions that, can sometimes rouse suspicion. I'm not talking about the prisoners who will also be transporting. Oh, by the way, that Goliath, he took off. He left for his settlement far to the east, near the Reged Glacier. Mark the spot on the map if you'd ever like to visit. Said we're all welcome. I keep a few, and she points as you guys are nearing the sleds now, and you notice a little troop of kobolds kind of packing belongings on the sleds, and as the Dwargar approach, they're kind of like backing up the Durgar, carrying these these little rockets essentially.
Okay. Well, it looks as though everything is in order. We should be able to make some at least decent time with these. Valin should already have everything we need. So, if there is nothing further, Grokvar, play. Shall we catch up with our friend?
Sounds like a good plan to me. Now, should I have Dodge take our axe beaks and follow us, since I imagine they can't stand on the sleds with us?
Okay, sorry, what was that? Dodge, what?
Yeah, should I have Dodge take the axe beaks and follow us, because they probably can't stand on the sled when it's going Mach 3.
Yeah, the sleds are going to be faster, so yeah. Up to you.
Dodge, just follow our trail and go at your own pace and stay safe. And I imagine we'll get to our destination before you do.
All right, I'll make sure no harm befalls your axe beaks. I'll be on your heels, well, as much as I can.
All right.
So yeah, Dodge kind of, is fastening rope. He's got the. Do you guys have 2 axe beaks or 3? You have 3, right?
I think it was 3.
Yeah,
Three,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is fastening the ropes, tying the axe beaks together to make sure that they do stay together. And yeah, you guys mount the sleds. You do notice that there are 2 kobolds who are steering, and they've kind of placed this rocket now on either side of them, essentially. So there's basically a kobold on each run of the sled, and the rocket's like between them, so that they don't get blasted by it. And you also happen to notice that a couple of the kobolds, as they're loading the sled, are actually like bits of deteriorating flesh and walking with kind of a strange gait, little jilted, packing things onto the sled. And
Well, Lynn, your kobolds seem to have be suffering from a bit of frostbite or something. Are they all right?
Oh, yes. Well, these 2 are actually, well, they're undead. They're my assistants.
Yes, I remember the Quaggoth down by the forge that you had assisting you there. So I understand that must be one of your many magical powers.
They can be startling to strangers at first, but they're loyal to me. They won't be a problem, I assure you.
Do they speak?
No, not these. These 2 do, and you see 2 of the other kobolds kind of give a little graceful bow, very nimble on their feet.
Whatever,
Well,
it doesn't bother me.
I'll take a page from Nicos, and I won't even bother to ask your names because we've got to make haste.
Yeah, and so the 2 kind of the 2 zombie kobolds essentially, they have big gashes in their armor and kind of like almost look half acid eaten in places as they kind of clamber up onto the sleds. They're not doing any of the steering of these sleds, but there are let's see, I believe there are 3 sleds in total, and yeah, the Duergar who fastened the rockets say, "No, if I might give a recommendation, don't engage these until you're out in a wide open. You don't want to be on these narrow mountain paths, careening all crazy, like, if you know what I mean. But once you hit the wide open, it should give you a little extra boost. Simply turn this ring here," and he kind of points to this ring around it. It's almost like a focus ring on a lens. Just kind of got a grip to it a little bit, and just turn this right here a little bit further than that, and it should engage. If it doesn't, give it a tap. It's fueled by Chardolin.
Thanks for your advice and thanks for your hard work here, my brother.
I'm not your brother, but anyway, off with
Fair
you.
enough.
And yeah, you guys see Valin kind of mush the dogs as you head off into the snowy mountain trails here, back the way you came. The dragon construct that Fizwick is riding on continues its path to the north. The wind has definitely picked up. The snow blowing is hurting your visibility somewhat, Fizwick, but you can definitely see as you are getting closer to Easthaven, off to your right, off to the east, that there is definitely quite a bit of smoke coming from Easthaven. Do you wish to continue your path to the north of Easthaven, or do you want to head to Easthaven?
There's just smoke, but there's no sounds or anything coming.
You just can't. You're not close enough to hear it. You're still, maybe a mile or so away, and you only catch glimpses and maybe even the smell of smoke at times, without really seeing what's happening or certainly not being able to hear anything over the howling wind and snow.
Let's fly ahead of Easthaven.
Okay, so keep going toward the cares.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Why don't you go ahead and make me another animal handling check just to see how you're doing here.
20.
You are handling this dragon much more adeptly, with ease. What sorts of things are you doing here and trying as you are riding on it?
Fizwick took his rope out of his backpack and he's tied it around his waist to the harness as well. So in case he falls off, passes out or something like that, he still can maybe climb back up somehow and pull the scale. He also looks at the dragon's head, and is it breathing is there fire coming? How's this thing running?
You don't see any fire, but you definitely see a bit of an orange glow coming from the seams of the scales. Yeah, there's definitely an orange glow.
Is it magic or powered by oil or fuel or?
It's definitely magical in nature, especially based on what you observed of just these priests, kind of, priest engineers, if you will, chanting and doing the runes and stuff like that.
Fizwick, okay, but yeah, you said there's no fire coming out of the mouth or anything like that, right?
No, but you do have that option, to...
Fizwick wants to, actually, he has an idea. He's going to pull the fire button and get the dragon to... He wants to control flame off of that. And can he create his Hydra Goose flying alongside, or would that flame have to be constant?
I think you could certainly... for the sake of flavor, I don't think it would have a huge effect, but I think you could probably, make that happen through a little bit of magical focus for sure.
I want to be seen. I'm trying to get something so the dragon actually hones in on me maybe first.
So the other, if you encounter the actual larger Chardolin dragon, that it will be attracted. Yeah, I see. You're trying to create some sort of a light, if you will, a beacon.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, I would say you managed to do so. And there's this. You say it's a goose.
The Hydra goose.
The goose Hydra. Yes. This crazy multi-headed goose is now flying next to you in flames. And yeah, the beam of it's not necessarily fire, but it's close enough that you manage to kind of get something out of it that sparks the flame, and you're able to shape it. And it's a pretty steady kind of beam. It's not like a fire-breathing dragon, but it's almost like a beam of radiant energy and light.
He goes, whoa, and he shoots it again at the ground just to see like more of what it like can do at some trees.
Yeah, and you definitely see a bit of a like a trees go up in fire, just big kind of melted spot on the ground.
Our
where
stealth
it hit.
attack just turned into a flying laser light show.
And you all of a sudden you see the orange glow of the construct kind of dampen just for a moment, and you kind of dip, and it's startling definitely, but then it kind of picks back up and continues its path to the north. All right, so that brings us back to Nicos, Grukvar, and Clay. You all are in the open snow now, and you've made your way through the mountains here on the path. Velin leading the way, shouting back once in a while, "We're going to make a hard right turn here. Slow down!" And kind of directing her kobold companions as they steer. You've long lost sight of Dodge in the back with the axe beaks, and are making pretty good time here through the mountains. Certainly much faster than your climb up. And you now find yourselves out of the mountains in the open after about an hour and a half. And Velin looks back and says, she looks back to you, Grukvar, Nicos, and Clay. Should we try the contraptions here? See how they do.
Let's do it.
Fire them up.
All right. And she, twists this canister, and quickly as it takes off, she grabs her arm and hooks it on the sled as it kind of like quickly takes off, and she gets going into the distance as the kobolds who are steering the two sleds that you guys are on quickly kind of try to do the same, and realize they're going to lose her if they don't hurry up. And
See that red button? Never push that red button.
And essentially what this does is the dogs that are pulling the sleds are not going to need a break nearly as soon, and are definitely finding, wow, this is really actually quite easy, and their pace is able to be quickened quite a bit because of the added boost. What are you guys doing as you ride in the sleds here? What's going on as you are kind of packed into these sleds?
Clay is actually chuckling to himself.
I'm trying my best to navigate and figure out where we're gonna, what town we're actually gonna go to first. Did we decide that, by the way? I don't know if we did or not.
I don't think you did.
So.
Okay. We just like to ride.
Just going north.
Yeah, just head north. Yeah, Nicos is hanging on for dear life. Happy to be making progress. Happy to make progress, but not going to pretend like Nicos has suddenly become like 10 times stronger and capable of riding a mount. So I'm gonna just basically be hanging on as we're just careening towards the.
Oh, I was just saying, how fast are we actually going?
So I would say that, rather than, I'm not sure how fast a sled goes actually. And actually, the rules as written in this book, like, it's kind of dumb. You're not going to go much faster than just walking. So anyway, we'll ignore that. I'm just going to say that you could now go as fast as one of these dogs could just free run, as if it's not pulling anything. So the sled dogs are you definitely make, it's not like you're all of a sudden, but yeah, it's definitely making the dogs faster. All right, and I think that is where we will take a short break. We should probably talk about where you guys are headed when we come back. So be thinking about that. What town? You do have this map that you see on the screen here. if you didn't write it down, it's definitely up there in terms of the route of the Charlatan dragon. So if we want to discuss that when we come back, that would probably be good. All right. Hey, check out Nicos, Michael's channel down in the video description. There are links to Dead Aussie Gamer and Dark Sea Workshop as well in the video description if you want to buy some awesome fancy dice. That's what I'm using here to roll tonight, and they're amazingly beautiful fine dice. So check them out, and go subscribe to Dead Aussie Gamer. And don't forget our sponsor, Hero Forge. Also links in the video description. Thank you to Hero Forge. We'll be back very shortly, about 5 minutes. See you guys.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Great to have you hanging with us here, and thank you for sticking around. We are finding ourselves, as we come back from the break, in a wide open, snowy trail on our way to the north. But the question is where? You guys notice that as you are speeding off into the distance toward 10 towns, trying to see if you can intercept the large Chardolin dragon construct that is supposedly ravaging 10 towns. The Lynn pulls off to the edge as you guys see a bit of smoke trailing toward the sky in the distance. Just kind of, basically kind of going up and breaking the aurora's beauty. Is in the constant night sky here above Icewind Dale. She pulls off and says, I see smoke up ahead. What's our plan? Where are we headed?
Do we see any sign of where Fizwick may be already engaged with the dragon, or is it like, would it be just too far away or too small?
You don't see anything at this point. I mean, all you see is one trail of smoke coming from the direction of Dugan's Hole or Goodmead.
I take out a little scrap of paper that I've written down the sort of circuit of the dragon that we saw from when we were in the fortress. And I sort of gesture towards the smoke that's rising up, and I say, well, that's a sign, if ever there was one, of where to go next. I say we head towards that smoking town, and if there's no dragon there, then we'll head to the next town on this map in terms of where it should be. Does Velen understand?
I was going to say, I think it's also important that we keep an eye for any signs that Fizwick may have left for us.
All right.
All right, I think that's a solid plan. We'll head into Dugan's Hole. As we approach, are we trying to be stealthy to stay back in the tree line if there is one, or are we headed right in?
I think that's a good
Tons of
idea.
dragons.
Let's keep our distance. If the dragon's not there, we don't want to get dragged into whatever trauma the townsfolk are in at this moment.
All right.
I agree. I think there'll be a lot of desperate people looking for some help. We need to be able to be strong so that we can help all the 10 towns and not just this one.
Don't we still have sending stones?
Yes, you do. I'm not sure what the range is on those, but let's check. I think it might be a mile. Range
Forgot about that.
sending spell. Let's see here. Send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. Any distance and even into other planes of existence.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about those. I'm glad you brought that up there, Will. So, would you guys have given Fizwick one of those, probably?
I think so, but I don't know who has the other one.
Fizwick would do it on his next turn. He's gonna. I think it'd be more appropriate because Fizwick is gonna let him know what not to go to.
Yeah.
I think Grukva has the other one because I gave up the sending stones earlier on when we were doing scouting.
Yeah, because you didn't need them because you were able to just speak into our minds directly. Correctly.
And
okay.
If we want to kind of retcon, I'm gonna do this. The sending stones are supposed to have one use per day. I thought someone in comments of one of the videos, whoever that was, thank you, had a pretty good idea, and that was make it like a certain make a roll for a certain number per day. And so why don't we do this? Fizwick, why don't you roll a d4? And Nicos, why don't you roll a d4 as well? We'll do 2d4 uses per day. Oh, a 4 and a 1. Nice. Okay. So, 5 uses per day. So, you want to use them wisely. But Fizwick, I will let you decide. Would you have already communicated with them at all?
Yeah,
Do you
definitely
want to
tell
do
'em.
that now?
Yeah. Fizwick would have communicated already which ones not to go to.
Okay.
To avoid and maybe get them pointed.
Yeah. So, Dugan's Hole. So you would have told them that Dugan's Hole and Goodmead are already destroyed, and
Yeah.
maybe letting them know that smoke is coming from Easthaven.
Yeah.
So, and no dragon in Goodmead or Dugan's Hole. So, party, what would you do with that information?
Direct those sleds directly to Easthaven.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, Easthaven it is. Let's see here. Travel goes mostly uninterrupted. Fizwick, in the direction of Easthaven, on your sleds. Fizwick, back to you for a moment. You find that Caer Dineval, at the time of your arrival, is unscathed by the dragon. It is looks as you seen it when you passed last, which is pretty destitute, mostly, uninhabited, half inhabited, a shell of its former self. If you remember, this was the town where everything was a little bit kind of run down and people were not very friendly. It was also the town where there was that castle and all that stuff, the Caer, with the very sick speaker. So anyway, what are you doing here? Are you going to wait in the town? Are you going to try to warn people? What would Fizwick do?
I don't think I could warn them. I don't know because they'd probably start shooting at me, right, or something, or I don't know.
If
that
you
would
just
work.
landed in the middle of a town with a dragon,
Yeah.
you might not get the best reaction.
Fizwick is just gonna kind of try to elevate a little bit higher and see if he can get out of the storm, and just get above and see if he can see any like lights from below the clouds or something like that. Or he's gonna test the elevation on this puppy.
Yeah. As you do so, you definitely can see a bit of a just dark shapes, and well, not a dark shape. I would say you see a bit of light coming from Easthaven, just that kind of reflects off of the ice of Lac-Dinashir there. Just this bit of light that kind of flares up momentarily from time to time, and yeah, that's pretty much all you managed to see at this time. The only thing out of the ordinary.
Gonna head with all the speed I can towards that direction.
Okay. Yeah. So you head toward Easthaven, and upon arriving, getting closer, you can definitely see a battle being waged. In the sky above Easthaven, you see a beam of light before you see anything else, just kind of strafing, and you can see smoke definitely arising, blackening the beauty of the aurora that is normally so present here. What would you like to do?
I want to fly in towards the dragon and see if I can get its attention, and keeping a distance, and see if I can possibly either take a shot off of it by surprise from a higher elevation, and then if that works, possibly maybe move it away from the town towards my friends.
Yeah. So, you light up your goose hydra, is ablaze here, flying beside you, and you also manage to see, you're close enough now that you do see people scattering in the streets, running. You see, feeble little arrows shooting up toward the Chardolin dragon, but it's mostly keeping its distance at this point. And you see it land only once to really kind of like wreak havoc on the ground there. And it takes back up to the skies, and you catch its attention as it takes back up, and it starts to veer towards you. You see the orange glow of its grill actually starting to light up as it eyes you. I'm gonna show pictures so people can be reminded.
The little dragon is also made out of chartolene, right?
What's that?
The little dragon is also made out of chartolene, right?
It is, yes. Let's see here. Okay. So that is what it looks like, just as a reminder. So it is large. It is much larger than you, and it is flying towards you. Why don't you go ahead? It seemed like you wanted to. Do you want to try to take a shot at it as it flies towards you, or do you want to try to do some evasive maneuvering?
Actually, I want to try to do some evasive maneuvering and fly kind of like directly under it and head away from town.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
18.
Okay. Yeah, you manage to just dip down. As you do so, you fly under it, and it kind of has a hard time turning. Its beam fires towards you, and it ends up just exploding as a building collapses below from this beam as you duck under it. What else would you like to try to do here?
I want to see if I can head towards my friends, but also if I could pick out maybe, is there a valley or a ravine with lots of objects that I could maybe try to pull a trench run and maybe get him to do some damage to himself, run into a rock or something, or...
Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing really like that here. It's all pretty flat in Easthaven. And you don't see any sign of your friends yet. You don't actually see the rest of the party yet. It seems that you've beat them to this location.
Fizwick's going to try to pull it up into the air and see if he can... oh, geez, there's nothing to work with. What's the town looking like?
The town is looking very bad. Let's see here. What is it looking like?
Is there anything being shot at the dragon from the town, or any attention at all?
You definitely see a lot as you get lower. A lot of town's guard, definitely armed with spears, bows and arrows. You have seen some ballista being fired. You haven't actually seen the dragon being struck by much, but definitely some arrows tinking off its.
Okay, I got it. I'm gonna swing my I'm just gonna swing Kit around, and I want to find one of those ballistas, and I want to line it up with the dragon behind me. So if they're paying attention, I'm gonna be flying straight at the ballista, and hopefully maybe giving them a shot with their catapults or ballistas, whatever they got.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. That's great. Okay, so go ahead and make another animal handling check for me. See how well you maneuver this.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of take this dive. It chases after you. Its beam, just lights up and fires in your direction. But you just kind of, dodge once again as it strikes another building. And it flies right by one of the guard towers. And they are able to line up a shot. And you see loosed this ballista fires off, and it does hit the Chartolin dragon. Well, let's actually see. Yes, it does hit the Chartolin dragon for some damage. And yeah, it definitely momentarily kind of takes a dive actually before it kind of recovers and pulls back out just before hitting the ground. Its wing kind of hitting some of the wall boards of the town and just kind of sending some splinters flying as it scurries back up towards you. Grukvar, Nicos, Clay, you all are beginning to get closer to Easthaven here, and you can see signs of a struggle going on, and sounds of battle, occasional flashes of light as well, and yeah, what would you guys like to do?
How many miles out are we?
You're probably less than a mile from Easthaven at this time.
Okay. I would like to cast a couple of spells, if I may.
You absolutely may.
I would like to cast Mage Armor to begin.
Okay. Yep.
And then from there, I would like to cast Fly.
Casting what?
Fly.
Oh, fly. Nice. I love it. Yeah, you managed to do so.
Okay, cool. All right. As we are within that range, I can cross a mile with my fly speed in under 5 minutes.
Okay.
Moving at double speed.
Yeah.
So, I imagine from less than a mile away, we can kind of see the silhouette of the dragon, can't we?
Yes, you can.
Michael, what does it look like when you cast fly? Are you like hovering off the ground?
It's like when you jump in a train, he just like goes.
Yeah, no, interesting question. I would like my fly spell to look like my my red robes kind of billow outwards and then sort of twist into these kind of like pair of wings, but the pair of wings almost look like human hands as they kind of like these two giant red hands that kind of sort of flap downwards to kind of lift and create that kind of elevation.
He's spawning it.
Yeah. Yeah, basically spawning
it.
wing.
Yeah, dragon sounds are a bit loud. We're hearing from chat here.
I can lower that.
So, and by the way, thank you to Sirenscape for providing our sound effects here.
Thank you.
The the fly spell, you see Michael taking to the sky as these sleds kind of keep moving here. Michael just lifts right out and begins hastening his pace toward Easthaven. And Michael, what is your end goal with that?
So I want to basically, my concern is Fizwick at the moment. Like I don't know Fizwick's current condition. I know that he's currently engaged with the dragon. So basically, because I know obviously we can get to a certain point with the sleds. I kind of want to create like a wave of support. So me arriving, then Grotvar and Clay arriving, hopefully then getting all four of us to start wailing on this dragon.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, you managed to kind of get close enough. And you said you can go how fast?
So I travel using my my bonus action to dash. I can move. Sorry, my regular action to dash. Sorry. I can move 120 foot around.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so you are definitely going to be moving faster than the sleds then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then Clay, not to be outdone, yells to Grukvar, "Make me big again!" Because I can actually, that doubles. I could do 80 feet, and so it'd take me about just under 7 minutes to travel a mile.
Does it not increase land speed?
I thought it doubled your speed because you're doubling your leg span or whatever. But maybe not.
I will check here.
If not, it'd still be about. I've got a speed of 40 feet. I don't know. That probably wouldn't be worth it then, but.
I will take a quick look here and see.
And while you're doing that, Michael, you managed to fly ahead. You clearly see the Chardalyn dragon, laying waste to Easthaven. Much of the town already destroyed. and you see this smaller figure in the sky, just kind of, annoying the larger dragon. And you can safely assume that is Fizwick aboard the smaller Charlatan dragon up there.
All right, I'll connect to Fizwick with my telepathy as I'll head towards him first.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The enlarge spell does not increase your speed. It just increases your size category by 1, and your weapons enlarge with you, so you have an extra 1d4 of damage on those, and you have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet.
Gruffar extends his hand to you. Grab my hand!
Ugh. And I take it.
I insist on this. And I power you up. And you... Oh, how tall are you again normally?
6'5", so I am 12 feet 10 inches tall.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. And as the sleds start kind of, getting closer to 10 towns here, Clay kind of outgrows the sled. The sled slows down quite a bit, and I imagine Clay is probably just going to run alongside.
Yeah, I'm going to leap off and run towards.
Yeah. Yep, awesome. All right, Nicos, you said you wanted to connect with Fizwick. What are you trying to communicate?
So Fizwick, in your mind, you hear Nikos' voice. Fizwick, are you all right?
I'm okay, Nicos.
How does the battle go?
It's glorious.
Rolls my eyes. I'm sure it is. Now, how are the townsfolk doing? Are they managing to offer any kind of resistance?
They've got some catapults and ballistas up, and they're trying to shoot it with their arrows, but they're pretty much getting decimated.
Okay, what about any attempts to bring it down yet?
Me?
Yes, from you.
I've got an idea. I'm gonna bring it up into the air, and I'm gonna get it really close, and I'm gonna try to hit the ground. And right before I hit the ground, I'm gonna pull up, see if maybe you can hit it with something.
I can do that. Try to get it as high as you can. I'm going to go talk to the others. Yes, go high and wait for my signal.
Good luck, Nicos.
You too.
Get high and wait for the voice in your head to tell you to do something.
Okay. I'll fly down to Gruckvar and Clay. And what I want to do is I want to communicate this plan, which I'm not going to do in character, mostly because I'd rather clarity than voice acting here. So, Fizwick's plan is to fly as high upwards as possible, then get the dragon, once it's chasing it, to fly downwards with him, and then use the little dragon's advantage in maneuverability to pull up at the last second, ideally crashing the dragon into the ground. That's the plan. Now, what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to, when it goes to the ground, to try and pin it on the ground. So Gruckvar and Clay, what Nicos would like you guys to do is to coordinate with whomever you can get to try and, when it gets close enough to the ground, just get chains, ballasts, weights, whatever we can over the wings so that it cannot take off again. And then for you two to just basically just open up as heavy as you can. I will follow Fizwick behind the dragon. So Fizwick will be in front of the dragon, I'll be behind it. So when the dragon tries to pull up, I'll try and throw out an attack from behind it to force it down in case it does actually make the maneuverability to pull up at the last second. What do you guys think?
That sounds like a good plan. So, just to
Oh, it's
reiterate,
Fizwick's plan. I think it's just the best way we can support what Fizwick's doing.
yeah, that's great. I think that's a good idea. So our first step here is to just kind of zoom ahead and try and gather some town folk to assist us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, find a good location as well. If you can get a good location, like between buildings or whatever, you guys pick the field, and we'll guide it towards you.
Maybe outside of town is best if that's possible, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, up to you guys. If
Okay.
we if we launch it into the center of town, it means that all the ballistas will be aimed at it, and we could even use the buildings with chains and stuff like that to create a, a web. Whereas if we're out in the open, we won't have anything to necessarily anchor it down once it gets there.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys ultimately decide where. You just tell us.
So it's time for one of Clay's arrogant moves here, and he's barely listening, and he's just running in the same direction that he was, with his head like looking up, kind of like eyes following the dragon, like he's gonna take it on.
Weren't you on the sled? If
No,
you're
I
not,
jumped off because I'm a big boy now.
Oh, but you're slower than the sled, right? So Grokvar's just left you behind as you've jumped off the sled, moving at 40 foot while the dogs are.
I think he jumped
run
off
at
as they were like approaching the town.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
we're not like a mile back still. And I've got 40 foot run speed, so
Okay.
the walking speed.
Nope, that's fine. So yeah, then in which case I'll ignore Clay and I'll go to I'll mention to Grokvar. You just give the signal and we'll make it happen. And then I will fly up to back up Fizwick as previously mentioned.
And Velin is also alongside Grokvar and is, kind of nodding and agreeing with the plan.
We're sort of steering the sled just dead center towards the nearest sort of road into town.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And yeah, you guys managed to find, and I can pull up the map of Easthaven here. Let's get rid of Speaker Man.
The speaker.
Daneth Whalen, I believe. All right. So, on our map of Easthaven here, yeah, I mean, you could go for anywhere. I was wrong. There's no town walls. I forgot that's not Easthaven. But anyway, there are ballista on towers and such, and catapults that they've constructed.
You should slam it down in front of the Dark Sea Workshop. Let's see what Elias handles this.
There's an option. Sorry, I need to turn off my. I've got dinging notifications. There's my speaker thing. Okay, I found it. Cool. Chat, let me know if you can still hear my Facebook messages, but I think you should be good now. All right. So, do you guys want to do the Dark Sea Workshop, or do you want to try to?
Oh no, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Okay.
I'm like,
where
Elias
is
is probably already doing work.
Can we try to do it out over the frozen lake?
That's a good idea, I think. Where is the dragon right now, approximately? Is it over the town proper, or is it outside of it, or where is it, generally speaking?
It is mostly flying over the town proper. I mean, its location changes. So if you want to, do something when it reaches a certain point, let me know.
I think
all over the place.
We should just head straight out towards basically where Easthaven Ferry is, off of there a bit, so that we're kind of in a, a thoroughly frozen and also kind of isolated place that way. I mean, hopefully smashing a dragon to the ground will, hurt less people out there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys go ahead, and is that agreeable to the rest of you? So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys begin gathering townsfolk, kind of spreading the word. Chains, ropes, get what you can.
Yeah.
Head this way, Easthaven Ferry, and you're kind of gathering.
I actually think I should drop Velin off as we're zipping past town, so she can run down the street and just gather people, and then I can just get the sled all squared up, and everyone else kind of out on the ice.
Yeah. And as you are running through the town here and sledding through the town both, you see corpses, you smell burning flesh. There is destruction everywhere here. I mean, everywhere you look, you see smashed buildings, burning buildings, and corpses. This is quite a scene. You do see some remnants of, Townsguard running about with spears, helping people who have fallen. You see townsfolk with pitchforks and shovels and anything they can muster, sticks even, trying to, just mount what little meager defense they can to try to defend themselves against this behemoth. As you do so, Fizwick, you are up there, just continuing your evasive maneuvers, kind of waiting for a signal from your friends, waiting for folks on the ground to get organized enough where you can make your move. I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's do this. For whenever we need it, let's have everyone roll initiative. I imagine this is the sort of fight where we might be kind of in and out of initiative order a bit, but let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Uh, 14 for me.
All right.
5 for me.
14 for me too.
All right.
We're rolling buddies.
And Michael. And I got a 9 plus.
I couldn't hear Michael. Did everybody else hear him?
I did not hear Michael.
No, I didn't
Oh,
either.
sorry, my bad. 19.
19. Okay, so Nicos and Fizwick and Clay, and then we've got I am last. Oh no! Wait, what did you get, Grekvar? Alex, what did you
Oh,
get?
sorry. I got a 5.
5. Okay, so you are last.
Okay.
I am. Yeah, I realized I do that too. When someone says my character name, I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I could never work in intelligence and be a spy because someone would call me by my fake name and I would just like glaze over.
Exactly. All right. So, very good. Bless you. The
Thank you.
Let's see. All right. Fizwick, as this dragon swoops under you, it is clearly chasing you now, and it's kind of going back and forth between a beam toward the town and a beam toward you, none of which have hit you yet. I'm gonna go ahead and let you have a move here. What are you gonna be doing?
Want to go ahead and is it following me? It is following me, right?
Yeah, it is following
Okay.
you at the moment.
I want to pull up as high as I can get into the air while the dragon's behind me and get super, super high and then start plummeting.
Okay. Yep. And you managed to
Or
do
not, it
so.
doesn't have to be super high. I guess that has nothing to do with it. But I got to get him behind me.
Yeah.
And I got to get it so I get maybe even a little close to him
Yeah. Okay.
on the way down.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and make an animal handling check for me once again?
13.
All right. And cool. Yeah. So you start your descent, and the dragon kind of lashes out at you with its tail, but it does not hit you. But it is going to fire its let's see. Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and have you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
18.
Okay. You kind of feel this intrusion in your mind, this kind of like metallic noise that's kind of like prying at your mind. But you nice. You throw it off and quickly kind of snap out of it back to reality. Yeah. And then it is going to fire its breath weapon at you, and it is going to hit the dragon you are riding on for, let's see, where's the, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh man, that is going to be 7d8. Let's go ahead and roll that.
How many hit points does this thing even have?
I'm going to say this thing has, let's see, 62 hit points, we'll say. 62. That's the magic number. All right.
And this is where they're all taken.
right, that is going to be 31 radiant damage as this beam just blasts into the dragon that you're riding on. And go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can hold on.
16.
All right. Yep, you hold on, and but yeah, you feel bits of Charlatan just go flying past you, and yeah, you definitely get the sense that this dragon is wavering a little bit now that you're riding on.
Fizwick's got a little bit of fur on him, and it's just all I can smell is burnt fur and a little smoking now a little bit.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Excellent. All right. Cool. All right. Now, the rest of you on the ground are mounting sort of a troop of armed resistance here, helping townsfolk gather chains. How is that going down there?
It's going well. I send a message through the sending stone to Fizwick, just telling him to look for the torches and that we're out on Easthaven by Easthaven Ferry. And I have the townsfolk kind of like making a wide ring of torches, and they're holding in the air so that he can get visibility on that.
All right. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. So torches are kind of the signal that you're going to be using.
Mm-hmm, just so he can see the site where he can hopefully crash down.
Yeah, excellent. All right, and
they're doing that. They're doing that classic like guy, with on the runway with the little indicator lights. There's a lot of guys doing that kind of stuff.
All in different directions.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, very good. So you guys managed to see that. Fizwick, you see this kind of ring of torches below, kind of indicating the spot. And I imagine, Nicos, you've communicated that to Fizwick already, to look out for, or I guess he communicated to you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm basically the relay. So I'm sending the signal to Fizwick, but I'm also up in the air where Fizwick is to kind of like, again, keep him within range and try to back him up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely let you make an attack as you are kind of up there against the dragon if you would like to. If that requires too much attention or draws too much attention, I understand.
No. Having seen the Radiant Blast, I do have an idea. I always have ideas, you know me. Being so high up in a very cold area, I want to find a cloud, preferably.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd like to do is I'd like to use Shape Ice. And what I want to do is I want to try and create a thin, convex lens of ice in the air. And what I want to do is I want to ready an action to throw it as the Shadowland Dragon charges up its radiant damage of light, and try to use it to redirect the blast away from Fizwick if it tries to shoot him again before we're ready. If we're already kind of in motion, I won't do that. But if we, basically I don't want him to be destroyed before we get the plan going. So I'm kind of want to, just set up a defense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. You managed to do so. I think at this point, like, Fizwick can see the signal that things appear to be ready. But that doesn't mean the dragon won't try another beam on the way down, so to speak. All right, so Fizwick, you are kind of plummeting toward the signal here, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just plummeting full speed, but also maybe just getting a little closer. Not full speed, should I say? Because I'm worried if I pull up too soon, he's not going to be right there. It has to be timed just right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and make another. Clay, what are you doing at this time?
I am waiting for my opportunity to strike the dragon.
Okay.
I'm watching it like I'm honing in on a bird I want to hunt.
Yeah, nice. So I imagine you're kind of running toward the docks as you see Fizwick overhead, and you're probably right about here, we'll say, as you see the direction it is headed.
As I run towards the dock, can I grab like a fistful of really long chain? Do I see any like boat chain or anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep, you managed to find some chain. You actually see two young boys who are struggling with a large chain, just this kind of armful, and they're like, it's spilling out of their arms as they've been instructed, and they look like they could use some help.
Great. So I grab 2 young boys as I run past towards the dock.
Just by the scruff of the neck, carrying 2 boys.
I'm gonna throw them
and the
like
chain dangling
harpoons at the
between
dragon.
them. What was that?
Said I'm gonna throw them like harpoons at the dragon. Stay very, very still.
This chain comes with weights.
No, I don't grab the children, but I do yank the chain out of their hands.
Okay, yeah, they look absolutely relieved as they kind of run off to follow you in shock behind this huge 12-foot giant blue man. And as you're like toward the docks. All right, excellent. Fizwick, as you continue plummeting toward the ground, the dragon is going to take another shot at you here, and Nicos, you do see a beam heading in the direction of Fizwick. Unsure whether it will hit him or not, but what do you do?
Yeah, so I will fly over with the lens, and I will try to almost like throw it like a frisbee between the arc where it'll hopefully pass through the lens. My goal here isn't necessarily to deflect the whole thing, because I imagine it's quite hot and it's radiant damage, right?
Yeah.
But I am hoping to maybe give him advantage on any check to kind of evade it, as it will be off. The aim will be off by a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, let's just impose disadvantage on the dragon's strike, and because I did roll a 15 plus something, which I'm guessing might hit. So anyway, we'll just roll another one here to see how it does. Ooh. Yep, that one is a 9. Let me just make sure. Oh no, I'm wrong on this. Actually, I thought it was an AC thing. I'm totally wrong. It is a dexterity saving throw. So, Fizwick, dexterity saving throw with advantage because of Michael's little this spinning icy frisbee. Dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
21.
21, excellent. Yep, you managed to dodge, and the ice just, you see kind of shattering, and this blast of radiant energy. I'm gonna just say that the dragon actually, because it's moving so fast in the direction it is firing, it actually has to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid its own blast here.
Nice.
And it rolls an 11 plus 0. It takes some of this blast full force. So
Fizwick see this, and he does the classic. Yes! Good job, Nicos!
okay, so that's going to be 18 radiant damage. It's going to be half damage, but not the full 78. But yeah, still significant. All right. Give me a moment. Wait, how much did I say? 18?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. It is. All right, the dragon continues its path downward, though, even more angered by Fizwick's evasion here. And Fizwick, it's time. It's go time. You are getting near the ground. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try to pull this thing up because he'd been playing with it a little bit around, come flying over here. I'm just gonna try to use as much of its agility at the last second pulling up, and hopefully he can't make it and he slams in.
Yeah.
Before, or I was gonna say at the point where the dragon is about 40 feet off the ground, can I do something as well?
Sure. It's still a little bit far away from you, probably a good 120 feet or so, but yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit. That's too far.
What
for
did you
I-
have in mind?
I was going to use Ghost Water Dive to teleport 30 feet above the plummeting dragon, and try to fling the chains around it, and kind of lasso it and follow it down with like uh yeah, that would be my attack, but to like follow it down sort of already tied.
Yeah. Rule of cool. All of a sudden, you are 30 feet from where the landing site is. So yeah, you managed to. So how does this work? You can teleport up to 30 feet. You said.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you're kind of approaching the spot. You see all these townsfolk gathered around. Fizwick is making his dive, and yeah, we'll say that when the dragon gets within 40 feet from the ground, you can trigger that action. Fizwick,
Okay.
Yeah.
animal handling check.
$24.
Okay. You plummet toward the ground and just begin to slow enough that you are able to, you feel the force, the G-force literally pinning you to this dragon as you pull up on its neck, and
Right.
it just barely begins to
Right before it pulls up, he looks back and says,
This is for ruining my favorite pair of boots, you son of a bitch.
and you pull up, and just the dragon's tail that you're on smacks against the ice, and it takes off. Michael.
So as Fizwick has pulled up, so I want to dive down behind the dragon. Now, having seen the missile that the dwarves made, is there any kind of missile, like on the back of the dragon, accelerating it? Like any kind of?
No, there really isn't. It just seems to be propelled by its large wings, these huge
By the wings?
purple leathery wings.
Okay, so what I would like to do is I would like to use the Tasha's caustic brew, and I want to aim at the joints in the wings. So I kind of want to aim like dead center to kind of create that the icing on the wings, so it can't get that maneuverability.
Yeah.
I'm going to change Tasha's caustic brew using my sorcery point from acid to cold damage,
All right. Yep.
so that I can create that icing. At least that's the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be what I do. It needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. And what's the DC on that?
The DC is 16.
It got an 8.
Hell yeah.
So you managed to, you see this thing getting closer and closer to the ground, chasing Fizwick, and as before it hits the ice, or before it turns up, you coat its wings with ice. Is that correct?
Before it picks up. So on its way down, just before it's about to pick up.
Yeah.
And it's 2d4 cold, and then that's every single round. It'll do that damage until it clears off the ice. It's like growing ice, as it were.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to slam into the ground.
So
Hopefully it will. Hopefully this will stop it from.
We haven't. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully this will stop it from picking up.
like its
Oh,
wings
cool.
won't be able to fully lift it if they're coated in ice.
Awesome.
Okay, so you said that's 2d4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Okay, that is a 7.
All right, cool. And we're gonna be kind of just now saying, all right, this is initiative order. So Nicos, you're at the top of the order. That's gonna be your action. Fizwick, you are next. You see the dragon in your rear view here. It is looking like it might not be able to make this turn as it's plummeting toward the ice. It is not as maneuverable as you are. What would you like to do?
Fly back straight up into the air.
Okay. Yep, so you continue your ascent upward, and you just see the dragon, nearing the ice. Clay, it is your turn.
All right.
You said
so,
you want to teleport yourself
Yeah.
right above the dragon?
Yeah, so as it's falling sort of like above its back, So I'm going to teleport myself there. I think it's instantaneous. And then I am going to, with my action, I'm going to take those chains and try to like, just not like lasso it, but just to like get it tangled in its neck and shoulders and stuff like that, and kind of ride it down into the crash. But I'm also then going to rage at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of manage to just kind of hurl these chains down at the dragon as you're right above it. And it does kind of, get tangled in the scales, the wings, and it is still, you have yet to see if it will make the turn or if it will hit the ice. But yes, you are right there above it as it's nearing the ice.
Yep. So I'm hoping that I'm still holding the chains, so that I'm like riding it down, basically.
Yep. Awesome. All right. All right. And now it is time for the Chardelin dragon to do its thing. Will it be able to maneuver itself upward? I'm rolling with disadvantage. And that's a 20 and a 5. The Chardelin dragon, swooping downwards, it sees Fizwick take off, and it is just unable to make that turn, and boom, slams into the ice. Cracks begin to form in the ice, and Clay, you do kind of land right on top of this dragon with, not too much force because you only fell 30 feet, but I am going to say that you take...
That's a short little hop for a 13-foot tall.
Yeah, we'll say you take 3 bludgeoning damage as you land on the dragon and this kind of message.
So I actually have resistance, so I'm at 2.
Perfect. All right, so that brings us to Grukvar.
With the Chardelin dragon on the ice, Grukvar yells, "Chains, no!" And all the assembled villagers either throw a chain if they can over the dragon to someone across the way from them, or if they're not able to, they actually attempt to scramble over the dragon's body. And then when they get to the other side, people with sledgehammers and stakes pound the ends of the chains into the ice.
Excellent. Yeah, so you see the townsfolk and you yourself probably throw a chain too, and as the dragon's kind of just, you see it stirring, its back leg actually pulling up out of the ice, and it's just kind of, just beginning to stir. Nicos ice has coated the wings, and it is, just trying to, and just not really, you see bits of ice falling off, but much ice still clinging to its wings, and chains beginning to be thrown over it. It does definitely, start to leave the ground very briefly, but is quickly weighted down by the ice and chains. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
So that was my action.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to move close to one of the chains and add my strength to try and hold it down.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, so you and many others are either pounding chains down, or you see 4 or 5, strong Easthaven men, some of them badly injured, just trying to give all the weight they can in this, tug of war for their lives.
If I'm able, I want to use my warhammer to smash a stake down into the ice and fasten a chain.
Sure, yeah, we'll say you managed to do that. All right, that brings us back to the top of the order with Nicos. Oh, you're muted.
All right, thank you. Nicos is going to head down, and as he does so, he sees Grokvar's got the villagers handled. I don't trust this creature. I imagine it's going to use its breath weapon to try and kill a few of the people holding it down. So I'm going to try to do the same thing with the ice. but I'm gonna aim for its head. My goal is to try and create a muzzle around its head to prevent it from opening its jaw to unleash the attack. However, for this one, I'm gonna heighten it as well. So same deal. I'm gonna convert it to cold damage, heighten to a level 3 spell, which makes it 64 damage if it fails. Dexterity saving throw.
All right, rolled a 12.
That is not enough. Which is 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that is 13 points of cold damage, and that'll be every single round. And same thing with the 2d6 would still be in effect as well. So 8d6 damage per round of ice as it just sort of continues to grow over its body from where I've hit it.
Wow. All right. So, okay, 13 on this one, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Ouch. Yeah, so you see this ice growing on its face. It just kind of starting to take over, completely covering the grill, if you will, of this dragon. All right. It is Fizwick's turn.
Fizwick sees that they've got this pretty much under control, and he's going pretty high up, and he wants to kind of arc back down, plunging towards the dragon. What's the chain setup look like? If he was to shoot at this, he worries that he would loosen it now.
Yeah, if he's going to shoot at it, I mean, it could. You imagine the breath weapon could break a couple chains, but
Can I still talk to Nicos right now in my head, or?
Yeah.
Nicos, or can I? No, yeah. No.
Nicos, do you have that link open?
Hop out of character real quick.
Yeah, no, the link's still open.
Nicos, what if I shot the ice with my dragon and maybe it fell in the water, or what should I do?
Well, don't shoot it with heat, because ice is currently melting. It's currently holding it. Maybe come down, have your dragon bite it on the neck, and pin it to the ground.
Fizwick is going to man, this is a tough one. Yeah, he's gonna fly at the dragon, and he's gonna try to see if he can come up behind it and land on its back and just get in a good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe sneak attack.
Fizwick's gonna punch the dragon.
Yeah.
Sure, you can add your sneak attack damage. It's a rogue Charlotte dragon. All right. So what I need you to do is go ahead and give me. Let's do a couple things. Give me an animal handling check first.
25.
All right. Then give me. Well, we're gonna do this. It's gonna have +6 to hit to see if it can. So yes, you swoop down and your dragon lands on the back of this much larger dragon. And now you want it to bite its neck or what? Or swipe at it with its claw or what?
Is Clay on that thing right now too?
Clay is on that thing.
Yeah, I'm like between its shoulder blades, or I mean, if it had shoulder blades, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to try to get in a good hit and maybe just like jump off of it, fly off.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm not ready to
gonna
let
go
this
ahead
thing
and have
go
you
yet.
make a attack with +6 to hit. This will be a claw attack, just kind of knocking at the dragon's head, probably right above Clay.
Oh, 1.
Oh man.
Stupid mosquitoes.
Well, that's unfortunate. Clay, you take 6 slashing damage as the attack from this dragon actually hits you instead.
Okay, so that's halved to 3 because I'm resistant.
Yep, there you go. All right, and Fizwick, you managed to kind of get your dragon just flying back up off the back of it, and now it is Clay's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna first start by cursing at Fizwick. And then
time to roll
so
I'm sorry.
You're always sorry. Do better next time. How far, like, how wide is this thing? Like, how far would you say, like wing joint to wing joint?
Oh, probably about 20. Okay, wing joint to wing joint. Ooh, 15 feet.
Okay, so I am going to, and would I have advantage because of its situation and my placement?
Advantage on attacks?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I am going to use my 2-weapon fighting, and then Brookfire, you said I get plus what? On
Plus, 1d4 extra damage.
okay. So the first one is a 16 to hit.
All right. That is not quite a hit.
Okay. Second one. 25.
That's a hit.
Okay. So my goal is to, or would have been to swing both hand axes down, one at each joint, and try to like cut into where the wing comes into the body.
Yeah.
So that would just be the one. We'll say the left one.
Okay. Yep. So
And-
your first one kind of hits at one of the tougher plates of the Charlatan, and your second one finds like a seam.
Yeah. So that, okay. So that's, and then, sorry, I add what now? 1d4.
1d4, yeah.
What the? Stop it. Hold on a second. It's a 4, so 15 points of damage
All right.
on the left joint.
Yeah, that is significant. All right. All right. Excellent. Good. Then that brings us next to. Oh, and do you want to move or anything else? That was your action.
No.
Okay. Then we will head next to the Charlatan Dragon. All right. It gets multi-attack with 3 attacks. Oh, I think Ryan's cutting out there. You good, Ryan?
Oh, he just paused in time.
Oh,
He's
shoot,
staying
he's
so
frozen.
still. Look at him.
He might have dropped out of the call. We'll see. I'm going to assume that was his turn.
That intense look.
He's back.
Oh, Ryan, can you hear us?
I can now.
Okay.
For a minute. I don't know what happened. My internet went.
No, that's fine. That was all on your turn, though, right?
Last I knew, I was staying put.
Okay. Yep. Sounds
Yeah, I'm just staying put.
good. All right. Cool. All right. The dragon has multi-attack. It gets to make 3 attacks. And if the dragon isn't flying, it can also make 1 attack with its wings. I'm going to give that attack disadvantage because of the chains. But so that is 4 attacks. Here we go. Its first action is going to be actually to attack Clay with one of its wings. It feels a gnat on its back. It's a rather large gnat, let's be honest with you. It's a tarantula. And it is going to try to like just poke you with its wing, basically. Flexing that with disadvantage. That will be a 9. That is a, oh man. It's got plus 11 to hit. So that's a 19 to hit. Is that a hit?
Just barely. Yep.
Okay. And that is going to be 2d4 plus 7 bludgeoning. Oh man, it rolled 2 1s, and that is a total of 9 bludgeoning damage. As this wing just kind of slams into your side. All right, next it is going to attack.
Sorry, what was that? My cat just knocked a whole bunch of stuff down.
No problem. It hit you with its wing for 9 bludgeoning damage.
You're being attacked in D&D and in real life simultaneously.
Cat did 5 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Next up, we are going to. It is going to use its claw to attack Grukvar, who seems to be shouting lots of orders here. So that is going to be a lousy 13 to hit. Does that hit?
No.
Okay, it is going to use its other attack. Where is Nicos right now?
Nikos is in the air, probably just above it, maybe about 30 foot away.
Okay. Yep. So it is not going to be able to attack you. It is going to do another attack on Grukvar with its claw, and that is a lousy. That is not going to hit as well. Wait, what is your armor class, Grukvar?
It's 19 now since I'm on this most recent level. It's kicked my AC up 1.
Dang, that's going to kick my AC. All right. We are. Last attack is going to be a tail attack, and it is going to go for villager.
Grukvar is screaming, "Hit me!"
It is going to attack with its tail, and it is going to attack Thomas Schuma is his name, actually. You recognize him, Fizwick. Not Thomas!
Oh no, not Thomas!
I got a little more creative than villager number 1. But not much more creative.
Fizwick has his
How
eye
he's
on
going to
this.
show up in the credits.
You can
Not
see
to be
Thomas
confused
too.
with Tomas. Not
Tomas.
Tomas here, okay? You see no pugs.
What happens to Thomas?
Thomas is going to easily step aside as this big tail goes vroom, slamming onto the ice, chains wrapping around it. All right, and that is the dragon's turn. Oh, and one more thing. It is going to stare at Grukvar malevolently, and Grukvar, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Good job, Thomas!
8.
Uh-oh.
All right. Grukvar, you feel this ringing, metallic ringing in your mind as the malevolent presence of the dragon pierces your psyche, and you find yourself, and it actually is your turn now, and so I will take your turn for you. You find yourself compelled to pick up, what is it, your warhammer?
Mm-hmm.
And attack the villager nearest you with your warhammer. And go ahead and make that attack.
Oh no, Thomas is getting hit now!
Also, don't forget, at the end of its turn, it takes 22 points of damage from the icing.
22, wow.
Wow.
I rolled a d20, so I'm gonna crit this villager.
Yes, you are.
Oh no.
Boy.
What does it look like? What does this look like when you crit him?
Oh, it's pretty
Look at that
meager.
seeming
It's
pulp.
pretty
Hey, Happy,
meager
I'm sorry.
actually. It's pretty meager. It's a seven points of damage of bludgeoning damage. So I don't know, maybe he can take
Double.
that.
You know, we're gonna. I
Doubled,
don't
right?
even know how many. Let's look up commoner 5e.
Yeah, yeah.
4 hit points.
Okay.
All right.
I hit him square in the chest.
Yeah, there's this strapping young lad who is heaving on the chains, and all of a sudden, as he's kind of pulled forward by the dragon's movement, this warhammer just absolutely collapses his chest. He falls to the ground in shock and dead immediately.
Am I shocked as well by that, or do I have a big look of glee on my face? What's my mindset at this point?
So it says a creature charmed in this way fixates on another creature or object that the dragon mentally chooses and must, on each of its turns, move as close as it can to the target and use its action to make a melee attack against it.
Okay, so this is a charm he's using?
Yep.
It's
So I
probably
imagine you're
horrified.
kind of eyes glazed over, unemotional.
I have advantage against charms,
Oh.
just as a racial trait.
Okay.
So
So
can
why
I
don't you
take
go
that
ahead
into
and-
effect?
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll that again. We can
Okay.
retcon this death.
Yeah, let's bring back that spatter of blood.
So should I should roll my wisdom saving throw?
Yep.
Yeah. 16.
DC 16 Wisdom saving throw. All of a sudden, Billy, back up, heaving on the chains. You saw
Yeah, it
a
was like-
vision of what could have been.
Maybe what he
And-
put in my mind was a vision of me actually killing that guy,
Exactly.
and I
You
shook
saw-
it off.
You saw that vision of you just absolutely crushing Billy, and Billy is back up on his feet, heaving on the chains, giving you kind of a weird look, like, dude. He actually kind of like smacks you, like, dude, come on, help out.
I don't know what I would have told Billy's parents. I'm so glad that was all a dream.
In your mind, is
He's
just
like,
like,
That was
one of those
just a
scenes with the
beautiful
movie where they
retcon.
think about doing it.
All right. Okay.
So do I actually have my turn?
So, Grukfar. Oh, 22 damage. Is that right, Michael?
Yes, 22 damage.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this ice continues to grow, and you actually see it like almost like crushing a little bit the shape of the dragon's head inward as it continues to grow outward, covering more of its body. And that brings us to Grukfar.
I see the dragon glare at me through his ice encrusted head, and I lift my holy symbol and press it towards his face, and I chant towards him, Me'ula, befuddle your mind, and clip your wings and dull your claws, and I bestow a curse on him. Which the way this works is, gotta clear this off here. He has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become cursed for the duration of the spell, which is up to 1 minute.
All right. So. Okay, sorry. Wisdom saving throw. Ooh, rolled a natural 1.
Okay, that's a failure. And so I have an option of what to bestow upon him here, and I'm going to choose the third option, which is, while he's cursed, the target must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its action that turn doing nothing.
Okay. If it fails, it wastes its turn on that action doing nothing. Wow. Okay. All right. So the dragon will be doing nothing on the next turn. That brings us back in the order to Nicos.
All right. So Nicos, seeing the ice is still kind of doing its thing.
I'm sorry. If you get to recon, I do too. The dragon has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, which I forgot to do for Michael's, but I'm going to say he probably failed. I'm going to give the dragon another turn on this one, though. 12.
Still a failure.
Okay. Sorry, Nicos. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. Seeing the icing still going in, still quite fully in effect. I want to deal with that tail next. So this time, what I'm going to do is towards the back of the dragon, not.
And I will say this, Nicos. You do notice, like, it's doing damage, but it doesn't seem like it's doing as much as you feel like it should.
I kind of imagined, given that it's got like a heating element to it. That's why I decided to use the overtime damage rather than the just blast thing. So I'm gonna use my level 3 spell. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna heighten Tasha's Caustic Brew, and throw in the 64 once again. So third verse, same as the first and second. So dexterity saving throw, as I'm gonna aim at its tail this time, and basically just fly past, constantly just spraying this crystal clear goop that is just like, you know when you hyper freeze fluid and it's still got that kind of fluidy like and fluid wateriness to it, and then as soon as it leaves the bottle it sort of freezes instantly. That's kind of what, like, I'm gooping up all the joints with this stuff that's just sort of caking.
Yeah. And what kind of damage is this?
Still cold damage, so
Yep.
all of it's still gonna be cold.
Yeah, so
but I'm
you
just
definitely see it kind of like, getting into the cracks and kind of busting parts. But it's definitely not as much as you feel like it should be. But go ahead and roll that damage, or did you already?
okay. So that's 13 damage for that one.
Okay.
But now it is taking 14 d4 damage per round at the end of its turn if it has not cleared the ice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That brings us to. And does it give conditions for clearing the ice there, like a strength saving throw? He's not gonna be able to do anything on this turn, but
Let me
or
check. Yes, they need to. Oh no, sorry. My apologies. I've been doing it wrong. This does not stack, so it would only have one effect. In which case, I would like to, if possible, change that action ever so slightly.
yeah.
So I'll still have the concentration, so it's still 66, so that's still okay. And then with that last one, I will just use the Arms of Hadar, and I will make it necrotic damage instead. So yes, so I will move closer, and then that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 15 points of necrotic damage instead of 13 points of cold.
Yep. Excellent. All right.
Then yes. So I've got 64 at the end of its round, which is fine. And then yeah, and then like I said, Nicos is gonna try. Basically, he's gonna try and just keep doing damage to it from the base. I'm just gonna fly around and just popping shots off at it.
I love
But
it.
to answer your question, no, there is no way to break free of it.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Oh, sorry, no, my apologies. It can use its action to scrape or wash off the acid, or in this case, the ice. So it would need an action to do so. Yep.
Okay. Sweet. All right. That brings us to Fizwick's turn.
Can I see anything that's not covered in chain or ice? Any part of it?
Yeah, sure. Like I would say its tail is mostly uncovered by chains.
What about the wing itself? Like not the base where it's attached to the body, but is the
Yeah, I
like
would
the,
say probably one of the wings is almost completely free of chains. It's just managed to kind of keep on beating here.
I'm not covered, but let's be clear, I am not a viable target.
Unless he rolls a 1.
Fizwick wants to see if he can take the dragon and swing by and do a blast across the tail and see if he can sever the tail possibly.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and make that attack. This is a +6 to hit. I think that's what I said before.
Oh, so I think I screwed up last time. I rolled a d6 when I rolled that 1. I don't know what I'm supposed to be rolling to hit.
D20. Yeah, so
Well, I
roll
didn't
your
last time.
D20.
I didn't roll a d20. I rolled a d6.
Okay.
When I-
Roll a D20
so-
this time.
Okay. Stupid me. 14.
Okay. 14. Is that the +6 added or no?
Oh no, that's not. No, that's 20.
All right, so you hit, and this blast of energy hits its tail, and go ahead and roll. Let's see, it is going to be. Sorry. Radiant breath. Basically, I'm taking the larger dragon stats and I'm having them on all this stuff. So it is going to be. We'll do 3d10 damage. 3d10.
16.
All right. So yeah, you just blast, and yeah, the tail actually is like it half severs it, and it is like swinging a little more wildly now, a little less control. All right. And let's see. In our initiative order, that brings us to Clay.
Okay. I am going to repeat exactly what I did last time. Still with what am I saying? Advantage or not?
Yeah, you can still have. Well, let's see. Are you on its back right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. I will give you advantage if you can make a DC 12 athletics check
Okay.
to hang on as it's jostling you
That
about.
is a 19.
All right. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. 18 for the first one.
Ooh, yeah.
And 21 for the second.
All right.
All right, so damage is going to be 8 for the first.
Don't forget that little extra 1d4.
Extra
Yeah,
D4.
and 9 for the second. At both of the wing joints again.
Okay. Yep. Excellent. All right. Good. That brings us to the dragon. The dragon, what is the effect of the spell you have on it, Alex? I mean, what's it called?
Well, it's cursed. The target must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its action that turn doing nothing.
Okay. So, I rolled the check already too early, but it failed. So anyway, next time I'll roll at the beginning of its turn instead of yours. Sorry. All right, very good. Let's go ahead, and the dragon just kind of, it is immobile. You know, it's maybe just moving a little bit, but pretty much immobile. Not going to be able to attack or do anything with its breath weapon. All right, that brings us to Gruckfar.
I sight in the free wing that's sort of flapping around, and I target it with a guiding bolt. And I rolled a 20 to hit.
All right. Yep, that hits.
And that is 16 points of damage, of radiant damage.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
whoever attacks next has advantage.
all right. This thing is definitely like starting to fall apart. Yeah. All right, and that brings us to Nicos. Nicos, you have
Okay.
advantage because of that.
All right, let's see. All right, having spent that one, I'm going to use my psionic blast. Okay, I'm going to create a 30-foot cone. I'm going to try and avoid Clay and Fizwick, who are still kind of, I imagine, center mass of the creature. I'm going to go fly over to where its head is. Yes, I'm going to fly over where its head is. Also, did it clear the ice?
No, it couldn't do anything on its turn.
Okay, so it would have taken 12 damage from the ongoing effect of that.
All right.
I'm going to, fly over to where its skull is and aim a 30-foot cone directly downwards. And it needs to make me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. Against magical effects, it has advantage. That was a 1. And that was a 14, which is not going to be enough.
It is not. So that is 26 points of force damage. And it is pushed 20 foot directly away from me, which would be to the ground. And it would be knocked prone.
All right. Yeah, you actually see the dragon. You know, your shove actually begins to crack the ice even more as its whole body, wings, tail, head, neck, everything is just kind of slammed downward. And explain to me what it looks like as you have killed this
Oh.
dragon.
I thought I was gonna have to pull my scale. Oh, it's
All right.
awesome.
No.
Nice.
So again, Nicos, who is floating in the air with these two large, like, red hands made of fabric, sort of flapping in the wind, he kind of like twists himself to the side and like orients himself to just have one hand pointing down towards the head. And as his eyes sort of gain that inky blackness that he gets, you just see this element of force just sort of suddenly cause almost like the whole body to suddenly increase in weight and force down as the ice cracks, and then again as it starts to press up against the ice, and there's the sound of like screaming metal as the bolts and the joints are sort of pressed by the force, and then once again as it's forced downwards, and the eyes and all the lighted up bits from the interior start to flicker and then dip outwards as one final crush just sort of pours out this like caustic fluid from the various bits and pieces as oil stains the ice.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So yeah, at seeing this, the townsfolk begin to loosen their chains very tentatively. Some of them kind of walking over. Clay, you have just kind of been forced to the ground as well. Well, forced, I guess, on the dragon's back. And you see these bits of Chardolin just kind of clanking off. And, the wing that you have partially severed, Clay, now actually just, you hear this like screeching, as Michael described, as the wing comes completely free and lays there on the ice, and it ceases all movement, and you see the orange glow inside
Nice.
just die out as it lays still.
I holster my weapons and sort of calmly step off of the dragon's back and just loudly say, "Did you see what I did? Did you see that? His wing came off. He died."
I ignore him. I turn to the audience or the crowd and I say, everything you see here belongs to us. Every shard of this dragon, anyone who takes what is not theirs will answer to us.
And the townsfolk just kind of, mumble amongst themselves. Some of them, nodding in agreement. Others of them just kind of murmuring. You guys see from across from the mainland, walking across the ice, a figure limping towards you, and he removes a hood, and you see the gray beard and hair of Elias Moondiver, but it's not quite complete. Half of his face is just absolutely destroyed, melted, burned in place as he limps towards you. I see we've done it. And he collapses face down into ice. And that is where we will end the session.
Oh.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, chat. You guys were keeping me entertained there. There was a lot of fun banter. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight and enriching our session of D&D. You guys did awesome. As always, like, strategy in this group, well, I shouldn't say as always. As usual. There we go.
You have some cases in mind of when our strategy was not necessarily on point?
There have been a boneheaded moment or two, but
like that time
as
it took us
usual,
2 hours to catch owl bear.
When it matters, when it comes to the big bosses, you guys decimate. So well done. Just a lot of strategy and creative thinking that clearly the folks at WotC don't anticipate very well. So well done on that. Yeah, this was awesome. It's getting late, so I'll just remind folks to check out Dead Aussie Gamer and Darksea Workshop down in the video description, as well as our sponsor, Hero Forge. Thanks so much to Hero Forge for chipping in and making the stream happen here. And thank you to you all for joining us. Oh, also one quick reminder. Patrons get access to weekly live map drawing streams, as well as campaign diaries, in which I kind of reflect on the game and do a little bit of thinking ahead toward what's coming in the game. So if you want to get access to those, head on over to patreon.com/WASD20. Guys, anything else you want to say before we head out here?
I think that about does it.
Thanks, everybody.
I do have a special one-shot coming up with Tales of Pesh on Friday, 7 a.m. my time or 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard. So if you want to check it out, I will be playing a Eberron campaign, and I am playing an astral monk who is kind of cool. He's like a prisoner of the Dreadhold who conjures limbs out of his blood that kind of act as astral fists and stuff. So very, very cool character there. If anyone wants to come check that out.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, that does it. Oh, and our next game will not be on our normal bi-weekly schedule or fortnightly schedule. It might be the 28th, but stay tuned. Make sure you're following me on the Twitters and Facebook and all that stuff where I give that information. And yeah, we got some, mainly me, summer travel and stuff like that. So stay tuned. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week and keep on being awesome.